This is Black Star. I named him after the national soccer team of Ghana.
Moses Gagakuma is riding home on the back of a horse.
Ready for the parades.
Now he's at home here in Hoover, far from where he was born, in the Volta region of Ghana. His father was in the Ghanaian army. They lived near the military stables, and he started riding at the age of 6.
I didn't own any of those horses, but there was about 300 of them that I was playing with every day.
Moses was also a runner, and he was fast. He realized early on that might be his ticket to the U.S.
I used to be very good at track and field as a child, and I had a dream of going to the United States, but my parents didn't even have a bank account. So for a child like that to get to the United States is very difficult.
But he did it. He got a track scholarship to Troy University. Then he checked off several other goals. He graduated and became a U.S. citizen. Moses' American dream, including the dream of being a business owner, and now he is. And Moses' business is all about horses. He owns Mo's Carriages and Trail Rides. He teaches kids about horsemanship and carries newlyweds off into the sunset. He breaks and trains all his own horses, and he says many people have been amazed at how he handles these massive animals.
How do you do this? How do you not fall off that horse when he's bucking like that? Then it dawned to me that, I have a special gift. So then I started getting the idea together to do something. But what was I going to do with horses?
He's been in the U.S. 22 years now, longer than he lived in Ghana. He says he's come a long way from that young man who stepped off the plane at JFK Airport in New York into a very foreign world.
So I kept walking around this airport looking for the toilet. And all I kept seeing was restrooms and restrooms. So I kept thinking, why would they build this whole big airport and have places for people to go rest and not have a toilet?
And now he's living the dream, his version of the American dream.
I feel like I'm living it wonderfully. I love America. It had been a dream of mine, and I'm just living that dream right now.
I love that.
I don't know if he makes a lot of money, but he seems to have found his purpose.
And
I think that may be the real American dream.
Yeah, that's probably what makes him happy, and beautiful animals he's working with, and obviously he trains them just perfectly.
And the dog wants to run right along with them.